Okay. So um, I wouldn't say that this is a shift, but it does feel like it's an activation of some kind. Um, and um, it links into the shift, the healer's shift we did the other day with the activation of the star seed underneath the pineal gland. So there is, they've been trying to teach me, and I'm not finished the training yet, but we're going to have to ride with it because apparently the goddess needs us to. So under your pineal gland, there is a seed of creation that is from the divine. It is a small, a little tiny particle of the God force as we recognize it that pulls us into the high vibration of who we are as souls. Underneath all of the other chakras, there is a similar cell that isn't the God force as we recognize it, because we tend to only recognize the God force as a higher vibration. Whereas each one of these chakras has an aspect of God which is is only recognized, is only activated within that cell. So the throat chakra has the God energy of communication. So all of the gods and goddesses and deities and everything else that everybody recognizes, that energy is represented somewhere in our body, depending on where that being vibrates. They're all God, just in a different facet, in a different way. So whether that cell is actually the God force energy, or whether it's a doorway to us accessing God within the framework of that chakra, I haven't got to yet. So they haven't they haven't managed to get it into a language that I can explain to you or that I can understand fully without my brain popping a bit. But what I can feel is that there is a cell of divinity directly just under each chakra. And that as we go through the ascension, at the end of the ascension, which might be 10 years from now, whatever, might be 100 years, how the hell are we meant to know? Could be tomorrow. Woohoo! That would make my drive to Carterton a lot more interesting. That seed of divinity will be inside the energy of the chakra. So it's no longer going to be underneath, it's going to rise up and be within the chakra. And that's going to be what will pull us into a higher vibration. They don't suggest doing that all in one hit, and they don't suggest trying to do it fast. But that process is starting, especially for the light workers on the planet. And what I can feel is that energy that's hitting the planet at the moment, it's like a wash of energy that's going through the gap between the soul seed, or between the seed of divinity and my chakra. Right. And it's making me feel a little bit incoherent, but that space between the two has to be cleared. It's like the seed of divinity looks like a star, and the inside of the chakra looks like the imprint of that star, and they have to interlock and connect into place. But there is a membrane, or a sheath of skin, for lack of a better term, that is stopping those two interlacing. That's what we need to clear. Okay. So we're going to clear ourselves. Okay, now there is, it looks like we only have the strength within us to clear 3 chakras. Okay, maybe 4 if you're lucky. Right now, for some of you, those will be the top 3, and for some of you, those will be the bottom 3. If you have experienced spiritual burnout recently, or if you have been overdoing it on the spiritual plane, you need to do the bottom ones. Okay. So I know that there's a couple of you who have been really pushing the barrow on a spiritual level. And you cannot afford to do this process on the upper chakras. It's only going to make things worse. Okay. Do any of you feel like you need to ask which ones you should do, or if you should do it at all, or any of that other kind of stuff? It doesn't necessarily have to be the bottom 3. It might be the middle 3, but that's your choice. But if you need help figuring that out, now's your chance to ask me.